Hey guys, this is Brian from Nintendo Game Point Plus, and it is that time again. E3 is here. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've done one of these because I don't know if you noticed, but last year E3 was non-existent, and honestly, even the Nintendo stuff, I tried to do a few reaction takes and stuff like that, but man, it was not. The feeling wasn't there, man, last year. But this year, we're in full throttle. And this one, if you saw the thumbnail of the video, is going to be slightly different than last time. As you might notice that this is my first impressions, rather than me doing a full-on review and synopsis. It'll be still me doing somewhat of what I've done previous years, where I kind of go over what I saw about during the conferences, and talk about my thoughts and impressions. But this one is just going to be, I think what's going to be a little different is that I'm not giving a definitive grade this time. What I'm going to do is make one big, massive E3 review at kind of the end of E3, and that is what's going to have like all the definitive grades of what I gave everything. I kind of did that 2019, although I did that 2019. And you saw the full reviews on my website, which there's a link down below, ntgamepoint.weebly.com. But this one is going to be a video format, and also, unlike last time, I'm also going to, instead of only focusing on one company, I'm going to do a whole mix of companies this time. At least for today, because today, let's get to the crux of this video, was Ubisoft Forward. And which is basically Ubisoft's answer to Nintendo Direct, and it was also Devolver Digital and Gearbox Software Showcase. To let you know, the main companies I'm going to be talking about for E3, I'll let you know video to video, and also to myself. I've been going back and forth, but pretty much what I'm going to say is, because I don't know too much about some certain companies, such as Devolver Digital, because theirs was so small, and Gearbox, which was also really, really small, I'm going to be honest with you, but I'll get to that in a minute. Basically, the one I'm grading today is Ubisoft, but I'm also going to touch a little bit on Devolver Digital and Gearbox along the way. Also, what I should have mentioned first, freaking no visual, because honestly, I'm in the middle of getting the quote-unquote set ready. So you just got the little visual of me in front of a couple logos. That'll be fun. It's okay. It's still gonna have fun, and I'll try to that just means I have to express my voice in fun, unique ways, I think. I don't know. Let's just start with Ubisoft, and let's get into my first impressions of Ubisoft, and hopefully we can make sense of this. So Ubisoft came up with their Ubisoft Forward. They started off with a full-on showcase of Rainbow Six Extraction, which is this alien Rainbow Six game where you play as different Rainbow Six operatives, but they're stuck in like these alien quarantine zones because aliens landed on Earth, and these are like creepy looking aliens. Cool looking aliens though. And so basically they're causing havoc on Earth, and you have to save the world from aliens, or at least the United States. I don't know what other countries do it. Maybe other countries. I don't know. They only mention the U.S. in their thing. That doesn't matter. Well, it kind of matters. Well, okay. You see, this is very rambly. Anyways, so the game plays like this. You're going to be going to certain alien sites and trying to get information on them. Basically, getting DNA samples, stopping more hives from forming, getting rid of big aliens that are going to destroy the world in 3 hours or something, basically along those lines. However, one of the biggest things about this one is that you play as different characters from the Rainbow Six series, but if you are not careful when trying to battle these different aliens, your soldiers could get kidnapped, and when they get kidnapped, you can't use them or anything they've gained. So like the gear they had on them, the guns they were using, their level ups, if they get captured, you can't use that character anymore, and now you got to use another character and try to rescue them from another hive, which is very interesting to me. I like that concept of, oh snap, you can go into this, work up this big character, but if you only worked up this big character, then if they get kidnapped through some unfortunate means, you gotta get that character back. So you better either balance your skills between all your characters, or you might be stuck and you might lose a person forever. But that's how this game kind of works, and what I saw, I really liked it. I like the visuals of the game too. Speaking of the title sequence alone, I like the yellow, and I like the gray and yellow aesthetic they have going here. I like the gameplay looks. It's still first-person shooter, but it's visually pleasing. I like the more unique look of the aliens. It's not like half zombie or half like Doomish stuff, or it's like there's a unique look, except for that apex, which kind of looked like frickin' Predator, but still. But no, all the aliens look cool. The game still looks cool. If I was forced to play a first-person shooter, I'd play this. But yeah, this game does look really cool. It got a release date of September 16th. Cool, awesome. I like that. Next up, Rocksmith Plus. It's a game. It's a game where you learn to play guitar. I understand this is really cool to some people. It's a game where you learn to play guitar. It's an app, and it was cool, but I mean, it was cool in terms of, oh yay, music. That's it. The closed beta's today. The end. That was Rocksmith Plus. Yeah, the end. Riders Republic. Got new looks of it. There's jetpacks. That's cool. There's jetpacks. We saw a bunch of different ways of how the game was played. Of course, there's races, there's trick competitions, there's jetpack races. I'm still on the jetpacks. I know that I don't want to say they don't exist, but I have very rarely seen a jetpack like out in like the real world. So I want to know where and how they got those jetpacks. And most importantly, where's mine? So, yeah, but it looks really cool. They touched on how you earn achievements and stars through almost anything. Whether you win races, pull off insane tricks, or even just reach a location just by free roaming. I mean, that's really cool that the game really allows you to play in all these different various styles. I think it looks really cool visually. I think the costumes are kind of insane. It's still really weird that a bunch of people are just going down the track at once. It feels like that's just a freaking lawsuit waiting to happen, I assume, in real life, but it still looks really cool. I thought that was a very fun looking game, and it's coming out September 2nd, so yay. So far, we got a decent track so far, and then we get to, I don't want to necessarily say a slow part, but we start getting into the Ubisoft updates, which I'm going to just call it. We got Rainbow Six Siege. They announced crossplay with PC and console. What they said specifically was PC, Stadia, and Amazon Luna. Those are going to have crossplay first, and then next year we're going to get console crossplay and cross progression with everything. So that works. And then we got a new trailer for a new character, Thunderbird, and a new gameplay mode, I think North Star, or like a new DLC pack, I think. Yeah, it's available today. It's available. Yay. That's cool. I mean, it's cool we're hearing about an update to a game that's been out for a while. Okay, I'll get to that when I get to the end. Then we get pretty much a whole mess of what they call live updates. We got update for Honor, which is called Mirage, I believe it was called. The Mirage, and it's like a cool new battle thing. Cool. I did like For Honor, so For Honor is actually a really cool game, in my opinion. It plays well. I know it's not going to happen, but I'm still like hoping for a Switch version one day, but whatever. Trackmania update. A gameplay update for Trackmania, the racing builder game. It looks cool. Again, a really cool one. One that I got excited for, though, was Brawlhalla's update, which added the freaking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That is freaking awesome. Yeah, that was cool. I love Brawlhalla, how they have basically taken a bunch of cartoons and real people and put them in this fighting game, and it's like, oh, that is awesome. I love how they did that. So, yay, TMNTs and Brawlhalla. That was the best one I took out of it. And we also got some updates for the Crew 2. Crew 2 is getting a live update. I don't know what exactly it entails, because I don't really understand that. I don't think I understood that trailer. Again, this is the first impressions thing, because my first impressions of this is kind of cool. It's like, again, why I'm saying first impressions for this video is because the grade right now I'm gonna really define it when I see this again, but again, I'll talk about that later. Ghost Recon update. They said there was new stuff coming. I don't think they really showed what was coming, but they said there was an update. And that was kind of the whole live updates section of what was happening. Cool. Next up, Just Dance 2022. Okay, I love Just Dance. I'm going to be very honest with you. I love Just Dance series. I think it's legitimately fun. I like playing it. I got into it since I was a kid. I love Just Dance. How do you make it boring? How? I think the problem was they just showed the announced trailer and they didn't show anything of gameplay, which is the dumbest thing. Like they showed here's what they showed. Todrick Hall, and they just said his song, they're gonna have like an exclusive version of his song in Just Dance. Like, they changed the lyrics and everything to fit Just Dance, which is okay, cool, but like, what does this game look like visually? I mean, I know it's Just Dance, but even Just Dance, you can tell like a visual progression of game to game. But so like, what's new here? They had just announced Todrick Hall and a couple of songs are going to be in it. Although they did give me a legit fake out for a second, because they only showed the Nintendo Switch box. So I had a little moment of thinking, wait, did they finally just say it's exclusive to Switch and PC or something? No, it's still on everything else. I was just like, Just Dance is just one of those games that is supposed to be obviously a Nintendo exclusive that they just kind of have to put on everything else, in my opinion. But yeah, Just Dance 2022 coming November 4th. We know nothing else about it, not even free. How does that work that you don't show that? But whatever. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they showed that. They showed some updates coming to the game. They showed a world learning update and Siege of Paris, which is basically a reenactment in the Assassin's Creed world of one of the most famous Viking battles, which, to be fair, is really cool. I like that Assassin's Creed is going more into, even though it's clearly fake history, it's still, we're gonna allow some accurate history, so that way if a kid decides to use this for their homework assignment, they can at least not fail. Okay, I'm shutting up now. That's like an old joke, too. Okay, alright, we get to... I don't know, okay, we get to one moment of this where I was groaning, which was when they started talking about TVs and movies. Look, Ubisoft, I know you have Mythic Quest on Apple TV. I'm not saying you can't show a snippet trailer. All I'm saying is not during a conference where what we want is game. Werewolves Within, Ubisoft movie based on a game. That's cool, but man, I really wanted you to talk about a game, not the movie, which you could have just shown. If you just shown a trailer, like in between something, fine. But this was, yay, let's gonna talk about Werewolves Within. Here's the director and one of the cast, and it's like, yay, yeah, this movie's cool, here's a clip. I'm not saying that isn't cool, I'm saying it's just E3 where we talk about the games, not the movies. But yeah, what I saw was still really cool. I mean, I saw the first Werewolves Within trailer. I think that movie is gonna be freaking awesome, but like, still. I would have been like, you know what you could have done? Announce Werewolves Within is coming to the current platforms or something. No, not even like HD. You're just porting it to other systems. I don't know if they can do that, but still. Yeah. Anyways, we get a little scene after the TV movie stuff. We get a little scene of Far Cry 6 and Far Cry 6, and look, that scene was really cool. It's really painting a picture of the villain. I love Far Cry 6. I love how Far Cry series in general has these like crazy villains that you're like super invested in. Except Far Cry 5, I hated the villain from Far Cry 5. And not just because, I mean, you're supposed to hate the villain, but Far Cry 5's villain was just so annoying. But Far Cry 6's villain looks freaking awesome. But anyways, yeah, we got Far Cry 6. We also got, they showed a little snippet of the game. Really cool. We already knew that game was coming out. But then they showed something that I was so confused about. Because they showed this really cool expansion game, it's like this side game where you were like embodied the villains of Far Cry. You played as freaking Voss and Pagan Min and the father, who I hate still, but it's still an interesting viewpoint of you play as the villains and like go into their mindset of what they're doing, and it was just like so cool. And we saw, and I thought, man, that would be really cool, especially when they went to Far Cry 3 with Voss, and we saw the hero character and how they kind of like, what did they like switch bodies and you're playing as Voss now? Like, that was really cool. But the problem is, they didn't really say what that was. They just said it was part of the Far Cry 6 season pass, and then they showed Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon was gonna be part of it, even though I don't think that's what that was. Because Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, I thought that was a whole separate game, not like this stuff, so I don't know. But yeah, the game's coming out October, so yay, but that was just confusing to me. I mean, I love that little snippet, but that was still confusing. And then we got one of the biggest surprises, pretty much the biggest surprise, if what was supposed to be the biggest surprise, unfortunately, until it got leaked this morning. But I said on Twitter that all we saw was a picture. I still need to see what the game looked like, and yay, Mario and Rabbids 2, Sparks of Hope. Yes, just yes, yes, yes. Everything about this was yes. It was just awesome to see that. It was so cool to see this trailer for the game. It was so cool to see the new gameplay. It was, we're in space now. We explored the idea of not just stuck in the Mushroom Kingdom and like putting a rabbit spin on that. It was a rabbit spin on kind of the Mario universe as a whole, with Galaxy and exploring different areas. We see this like new villain who's like this like purple mage thing, and he's got different rabbits, like zombie rabbits now, which is kind of cool. And man, this was just a great trailer. We got to see a little bit of the new gameplay too, which was like, it wasn't like the XCOM style, it was like this free roaming battle kind of thing, and like half strategy but half like the action, which was really, I just thought that was so cool. And man, I'm just super excited for this one. It doesn't come out till 2022, but man, I did think that was a great freaking, what was supposed to be a surprise, unfortunately it wasn't, but it was still, that was still a great reveal though, because that was just, I loved it. Every look of that was awesome. And then of course we get the final game, which was so, I don't want to say it was disappointing, but man, compared to the game they showed before it, so the game itself is an Avatar game, not The Last Airbender. Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar game, Frontiers of Pandora. Let me tell you something, I'm going to be strictly honest with you. When I first saw it, I knew it was Avatar, but when they showed the title, I had forgotten what the subtext was. I thought I knew it was something of Pandora, and I had to look it up because at first I thought it said Islands of Pandora. Point is, man, it looked cool, but that's not to say the game didn't look interesting at all, but comparing the reveals you just did, that was kind of an underwhelming reveal, in terms of that. But it still looked really cool to see the Avatar, the Na'vi, and explore the different, on the island. Then you have all the soldier people in there, and I'm just like, wait, didn't we already deal with you in the first movie? And I'm like, okay. But man, that was still, visually speaking, that game looked freaking incredible. And I'm interested in the gameplay of that, so I just don't know if I would have put that as the last thing, on the thing. I mean, it was still a cool collaboration, but yeah. But yeah, in terms of this whole Ubisoft conference, first impression is a C+. Mainly because the Ubisoft conference, I think my issue was how much it was updates. And I mean updates. In terms of new stuff, because that's something about E3 that I always loved. Even when we know about stuff, there's still supposed to be new stuff to see, and there wasn't really a lot of new stuff. I mean, unless I missed something, because I might have missed something in that pre-show. I didn't watch their pre-show, so if I'm missing something, please notify me. But man, was it underwhelming. It was just, there wasn't a lot new. To be fair, what they showed of new was legitimately interesting. Like, even though I bashed on it a bit, Avatar, that was still very interesting. Mario and Rabbids, that was still interesting. But everything else was stuff we kind of already knew about. Updates to things we know about are already here. Or Rocksmith Plus. Which, I mean, it was just really underwhelming to me. Not saying the stuff they didn't show didn't have quality, but it was just pretty underwhelming in that grand scheme of things, so yeah. So first impressions right now, C+. I'm gonna have to mull it over the next couple days as we see more E3 stuff. I will say this though, let's talk a bit about Devolver Digital and Gearbox, because literally watching these two press conferences, especially back to back, it was night and day. Devolver Digital, what they showed was really good. Devolver Digital always, every time I watch their thing, I'm always like giggling a bit because I'm like, wait, are you actually really doing this? And yeah, they did. They literally announced they announced a VHS of which they said they only made one of and sold it. And when I went to their site, either that was a huge freaking hoax or somebody actually bought it, which in that case, oh my gosh. They actually did announce a physical only, never going to be on digital Switch game, which is funny. And oh, by the way, the games they showed were really friggin' cool looking too. They showed some that stood out to me. Trek to Yomi, which was this Japanese style, which is a classic Japanese style game. It had even down to like the filter, which was like this kind of old film. Was like this old film style game, which looked really cool. Wizard with a Gun, that is just an amazing visual style game. I loved it, and they showed a bunch of cool stuff, and they always have this charm and funniness to it that I love. And it's kind of crazy going back to think Devolver Digital, when I first heard of them and they had their first ever press event. It was just, that first one they ever had was such a troll, and to think now it's something to look forward to every year, it's like crazy. It was really cool. Now Gearbox had a showcase. Thank God I'm not officially grading I'm not grading Devolver or Gearbox officially, but man, if I did, Gearbox would have got a friggin' D, cause that was boring. Gearbox's was boring, And I was even willing to say that Gearbox even earned the right to show movie stuff at their showcase, because Borderlands is getting made into a movie. But man, was that boring. Had some charm, but man, boring. Oh god, I did not care about Gearbox's thing. And that's not even to say that I can still. Here's my thing. For context, I remember back in 2012, I never even knew that Ubisoft did press conferences. I just tuned into one of their things that year. I watched it, and man, I was so invested in Ubisoft when first time I ever watched their press conferences. First time I watched their press conference in 2012, because that's when Aisha Tyler first started, I believe. Yeah, it was 2012. That was the first time Aisha Tyler was hosting, and I watched that, and I was so happy to see that. It was so much fun. After that, and then watching this for the first time, I was like, I did not care. So I don't know if that paints a picture about me, but man. But yeah, that's so far my pretty much E3 day one first impressions. And that's how I thought of Ubisoft. Like I said, Ubisoft got a solid C+ for the first one. At least for my first impressions, a solid C+. I'm gonna mull it over a couple days. Maybe I want to say it might go higher if I really think about it and get a few biases out of the way. But yeah, that was it so far. What did you think of? What did you think of E3 day one? Let me know in the comments below. Once again, you can always like and share the video to let me know you care, or just because you like me for some real reason I'm not going to dispute. Also, check out ntgamepoint.weebly.com, because that is also my Nintendo themed blog. And of course, if you want to see more, click that subscribe button and hopefully tune in. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.